Incoming transmission from an unknown source. It seems to be urgent. Patching them through. They're calling themselves the HoloNet Marauders.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the HoloNet Marauders podcast. My name is AJ, joined here by Jamie and Matt, my bomb bad 100 episode recording pals.
Very good.
Yeah.
We're here to, our previous episode was episode 100. And I know there's probably like some people, and by some people I mean like a couple, that if you go on Apple Podcast app, it'll say like one less episode than we have. But I remembered that's because one of our episodes is just on YouTube. I think it was like a panel we did, and the audio wasn't good, so we just did like it was just on YouTube. But yeah, I was thinking about it myself, and I'm like, okay, I wonder if other people are out there, and they're gonna be like, wait, you don't actually have 100 episodes, you're at 99. And if that was the case, this episode 101 would be episode 100.
So there you go.
So it all works because on this episode, we're celebrating our 100 episodes. We're going to talk about
for our Apple Podcast listeners.
Nope, no, for everyone, and even on YouTube. So don't listen to Matt. Matt always says things, and his tone is always so truthful. Like we were doing our live stream for Celebration the other day, and he like would say stuff. I'm like, Matt, you can't say that because first of all, people are relying on us for this news, watching us. We're reporting it like the Hindenburg, as you said. Matt was like a journalist with his earpiece and like, my goodness, or it was like the War of the Worlds broadcast thing.
Now they're bringing on
coming out of their spaceships. Daisy Ridley's on the stage,
walking out on stage.
Everyone's screaming.
Oh, the humanity.
So, yeah, this is episode 101, Marauders 101, and we're going to be celebrating our 100th episode because on our 100th episode, it was just talking about Mandalorian. That was how it lined up. And for months, we had it planned out, and we saw that, and we were like, "What are we gonna do? We'll celebrate on 101." So here we are, and we're gonna have a Q&A.
It's 100.
Yeah, we're gonna have a Q&A with questions from our lovely followers.
Loverly followers.
Our
loverly followers,
as Jar Jar would say, right?
Yeah. Humility.
This is lovely.
I forget the rest of the quote, but I know Patrick cuts them off.
So, Jamie has a little.
Got my
for your viewers.
The questions ready.
We have a PowerPoint presentation. It's kind
beautiful.
of thing.
It's beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, if you're listening, just imagine it. Ooh.
So, we'll kick off with Celebration. So as of the time of recording this, Celebration is on day 3. Day 3 just ended, so day 4 did not happen yet. But let's keep that in mind. So what news are you most excited about coming out of Celebration? What are your personal highlights of Star Wars Celebration in Europe, even though we didn't go?
Right. It's a good one. So yeah, this would be a good way to, in this podcast episode, I wanted to kind of talk about Star Wars Celebration because that was the massive Star Wars event going on this week.
Yep.
Kind of bigger than any like episode we'd break down or anything. Like I think this is more exciting.
Oh yeah.
Just to get news. That's my favorite thing. To get, and just the fandom coming together. I don't know about you guys. Like I know Jamie and I. Obviously, I do know about Jamie. I should say, but Matt, I don't know if you've been watching the live stream on YouTube. Like Jamie and I kind of have it on until it ends, and it's like I love watching that.
Everybody's just so positive, like screaming their heads off every time somebody comes out. It's just so nice.
Did Carboni you see... and Kristen Baver and Christina Ariel all on stage interviewing people. Like I love that. It's like it's almost like we're there, and like we have the. I would love to be there. I'm lying to myself if I say I don't. But like,
of course,
sitting on my couch with my blanket or just like snacks and like my own bathroom to go use it. It's like, I mean, I'm a sports fan. It's kind of like I always say these days, like, oh, I'd rather watch the game in my comfort of my home than like out in the cold or like in the crowds. So yeah, that's how I feel about it. It's been fun to watch.
But it's still Celebration, so.
Yeah.
If somebody were to show up at your door and be like, hey, 3 free tickets to Celebration and also airfare and also a hotel, and we'd be like, all right.
I'm there. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
what was the question again?
Good question. The question was, what news are you most excited about, and what was your personal highlight of it this year? So I think that we could say our personal highlight was the fact that we got to enjoy it from home, the comfort of our own home.
Yep.
Yeah, and
Specifically, I would say the 6 a.m. stream on Friday that we did.
that was unbelievable. Like,
That was ridiculous.
if someone was like rank your top 5 Star Wars Celebration moments, either there or not there, like that would be in the top 5.
Not gonna lie, I think that was like also like a moment. Like it was mostly you guys. It was you guys, Chad, and our friend Hannah as well. Our friend Chad and our friend Hannah.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I didn't jump in on that stream in the morning except for one moment because I had to work all day Friday and you guys were going on at like 6 a.m. But AJ literally woke me up right before my alarm was supposed to go off, my normal alarm, because it was right after the Daisy Ridley news dropped. And so I'm dead asleep. And then all of a sudden AJ's just like shaking me, and then all of a sudden and he's just like jumping next to the bed saying, Daisy Ridley's back, Daisy Ridley's back, it's great, Daisy Ridley's back, oh my god. And I'm like, look, you know the meme of like the guy like waking up and it's like overexposed with like the light and he's like,
Yeah. The
like,
one that yeah.
Yeah, that's
That-
Matt every time.
yeah, that was how I found out Daisy Ridley is coming back. And it's great. It was fantastic.
They all convinced me to go wake you
So,
up, to be fair.
Yeah, I
Very
love
much.
that moment as well because like I came downstairs and just like jumped in like AJ's like screen for like a moment, and like he was showing me the footage, so I couldn't see what you guys were doing in that moment. So it's you
Hannah
guys
was
all
grabbing her
talking.
toys, and
Hannah literally is grabbing like Hera, Ahsoka, and a Rey, and she's like, "Look, Jamie, look at this!" And like I didn't see any of it because
And
AJ
you're
was
just, like,
showing
looking
me the
in,
other
like-
bit. So like yeah, like I'm like still very clearly like half asleep, like staring at the screen, just like. But like I'm not looking at like what Hannah was showing. I was looking at Daisy Ridley walking
I had
down
the
stage
Twitter
in
feed
a
up,
gorgeous
yeah.
red dress and like Saidon Itano in the background and the Aki in the background, and I was just like, oh gosh. Anyway, but yeah, I would also agree that was like a top like celebration moment for me, and I was dead asleep. So
There you go. You got all the fanfare and you got to sleep in. So you're the lucky
Yeah,
one.
true.
yeah,
That
But
was
really,
just such
that
a
was
wild
fun.
day.
Yeah. It really
And
was.
yeah, so like the other part of that question was, what was our favorite reveal as well?
Mhm.
I mean, it has to be the Daisy Ridley thing for me. And I mean, that might be the same answer for all of us, but like the Ahsoka trailer was phenomenal. Like I've rewatched it a lot of times now. The music in it, now that we know it's the Kiners doing the music, like the music's incredible in it. Like I can't get it out of my head. Everyone looked great.
Yeah.
The Rebels crew is back. Like that's the Rebels. People should know this about us, but I think together, I think Star Wars Rebels is probably our favorite storytelling in Star Wars, and this is
Yeah.
the sequel to that, which is why I'm like, I texted you guys last night. I think maybe I texted Corey and Aubrey, but I was like, you know, obviously we love Ahsoka, but I wish the show wasn't called Ahsoka because
Same.
it's really about a lot of them. Like
It's
I think
about the whole Rebels crew.
it'll be
basically.
equally about Ezra and Sabine as it will
Yeah.
be Ahsoka. Like Hera will be in it, but I think Sabine is obviously, up there
Yeah,
with
I mean,
Ahsoka.
They have like a weird habit, like a bad habit of just naming the shows after the people. Like
Yeah.
I honestly don't know if Obi-Wan Kenobi should have been called Obi-Wan Kenobi. I wish they had come up with a cooler title. I mean, these shows were carrying Star Wars for like 3 years. They're going to be carrying Star Wars actually for 5 years.
The one that I think was fine, like The Mandalorian is fine. Like it's fine. It's a
yeah,
fine
because
title.
they didn't call it Din Djarin. They called
And
it
it's
The
like,
Mandalorian. So that's
it
kind
makes
of like
it
a
more
blanket
mainstream
term.
for people. Like maybe
Yeah.
that's more approachable than something wild, like some wild title.
I mean,
Book of Boba Fett works because like chapters in Mandalorian, and then it was now it's the Book of Boba. Like that was
Yeah.
kind of creative, I guess.
And it's cool to have like the book of instead of just
Yeah.
they didn't just call it Boba Fett,
Yeah.
Like if they called this like the Book of Ahsoka, that might have been cooler. But-
Even with Book of Boba Fett existing.
Well, different books. There's more than one book, AJ.
no,
Yeah,
there's only
true.
one.
There's only one book, and it's the Book of Boba.
But I kind of got a little sidetracked into the Ahsoka trailer and whatnot. But my favorite reveal, Daisy Ridley, and honestly, like all three of those movies. But I'll give one answer. I always give more than one. It's the Daisy Ridley returning as Rey for that new movie.
All right.
That was a roundabout way of me getting there.
Yeah.
But what about you guys? Do we all have the same answer?
I mean, like it is that, but like I have like a moment I want to talk about. But
Okay,
like
okay.
Matt, do you have anything?
Yeah, my favorite reveal was Bad Batch season 3. I was absolutely, totally expecting it to happen on Monday, but when they officially announced it on Monday, I was just absolutely thrilled.
So so again, we're recording
Don't
this the
tell them
day
that. Don't
before.
tell them
No,
that.
no, but I want this to be known. Someone asked Ming-Na Wen in her autograph line on Friday, "Are you in the Bad Batch season 3?" And she said yes. So we unofficially got that
All right.
confirmation
There
through
you
this
go.
roundabout way that that's happening. So actually I'm super excited for that, clearly, of like the Bad Batch is definitely gonna have to like go seek out Fennec Shand because like who hired her for that contract originally.
Exactly.
I'm
Hmm.
excited about that.
But if I'm going to give a
Yes.
real answer, not that I am not incredibly excited about Bad Batch season 3, obviously. It would be the Rey movie as well, the new Jedi Order movie, whatever it's going to be called. But since AJ already said it, I'll put my bid in for Heir to the Empire, the movie. I think, first of all, we got the official from Kathleen Kennedy today that the title cards are coming back.
Yeah, yeah.
Has me like over the moon. Because sitting in the theater watching like Star Wars and then like watching, because I'm just guessing that it's going to be called Heir to the Empire. I'm pretty sure it's going to be called Heir to the Empire. But if that happens and getting to see like Heir to the Empire on the title crawl as like it comes up, that's just going to be like existential. I'm going to be like teleported out of the theater.
What if they name it something else?
If they name it something else, it'll still be great because it's still
Mando
like
the movie.
Mando the movie. Like, yeah, and it's called Mando the movie
The movie.
as it's rolling up.
Imagine that.
I mean, I've been begging for a Mandoverse movie for like forever. I think it's an incredibly clever way to get butts and seats, to like create a giant event finale for this whole entire thing. And it's just going to feel so cool to get to experience that in a theater as opposed to sitting at home. I like watching the shows enough, but I like being in the theater for Star Wars.
It's funny.
So I'm just like super pumped for like I hate to say an Avengers style movie, but it's going to
That's what it is.
probably be an Avengers style event movie for Star Wars. That's just going to be awesome.
Not to draw like two franchises like that, but like I love hearing like, oh well, will it be called Heir to the Empire? Like I hope that it is like as well, just to like draw that in. But like Endgame was Endgame because Doctor Strange like says we're in the
Right.
Endgame now in Infinity War. I don't remember the order in which things are, but yes,
Infinity War was first, and then Endgame.
Yeah, I remember walking out of Infinity War, and AJ's like, you know what the next movie's gonna be called? Endgame, and I'm like, all right, cool. And
I'm
then
sure
like,
a lot of people thought it, but I was like, that's gonna be what it's called.
yeah, that's what it's gonna be called. So like, it makes sense if they're gonna drop a title like that. Plus, I love how, as someone who hasn't read any of the Legends content but knows of Heir to the Empire, I love how they're combining it with Ahsoka's story so closely. So a character who straight up did not exist and people absolutely hated in the beginning, and now everyone loves, and they're putting it with Heir to the Empire. Another thing which has always been like slightly controversial, like in its own way, shape, and form. I love the marrying of this content. It's gonna be really cool. I'm pretty excited as well.
No, like I could convince myself I'm equally as excited for all three of the movies they announced. Or the other one we haven't talked about is Dawn of the Jedi. Which like incredible. We're going back to the beginning. I remember when they announced it, I was like, "Oh, is that Old Republic?" And that's like, it's as Old Republic as you can get. It's like the beginning of the Old Republic.
Old Republic.
Predates
It's
it.
like it said 25,000 years in the past.
Yeah,
I
love that's gonna be, and it's probably on Octo.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yes. So are we gonna get like prehistoric porgs? Like I can't wait, guys.
Historic porgs. We're gonna get
Holy
Prime
moly.
Jedi, maybe,
Yeah.
possibly.
Like I love how that's the logo that they decided to use as well. Like they briefly show this actual like timeline, which is cool. It's not like the
Really
content
cool.
spurring off of it. It's just these are what the eras are. Love to see that. But they pick the Prime Jedi from like the Mosaic in The Last Jedi that they have in Octo, right? That's what they pick as the Dawn of the Jedi logo, and I'm like, oh my god, this is huge because like we all love that logo. Like I literally have like a patch of that logo like on like my like vest that I wore when I'm doing like Rebel
Remember when
Legion
we thought it
stuff.
was Snoke?
Yeah, a lot of people did think that, but I always loved that because it's like an Octo thing, and now I'm just like, oh my god, it's gonna be like an ancient Jedi thing officially. Like they're gonna keep bringing it back, and I'm just like, I'm so excited.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say something controversial. I actually didn't ever want there to be any content about the Dawn of the Jedi or anything from 25,000 years ago. I always liked the idea of that being mysterious and nebulous, but I don't get to make the content, so I'll make the best of it.
But just like everything else, you come around to it.
I'm already really looking forward to it because it has the Prime Jedi involved.
Well, and James
because
Mangold, that's his name.
James Mangold,
He's an incredible
Yes.
director. As I've seen all of his work, but when it's outside of Star Wars, I don't really look too far into who the directors are. When it's like I don't know. It depends. Like obviously I watch my Tarantino films and I do all that stuff, but like Logan, the movie
Star Wars when?
No. The movie Logan. I didn't know that was Mangold. Right? Like that blew
Yeah.
me away. I was like, "Oh my god." And he also did Ford vs Ferrari recently. Like I don't think you've
I
seen
didn't
that
know
movie
that.
yet. But
No,
I
I didn't.
love that movie. My friend
Yeah.
Khalid told me that. So if I'm wrong,
No,
I'll put
you're
it on
right.
him, but
You're right.
is it him?
Yeah, it is him. Yeah.
Confirmed? Okay.
No, but I agree. Like with directors, though, like there's only like a handful. It's always like, oh, I'm gonna like watch like all of their works. It's more so like when you find out they're doing a franchise
Yeah.
that you love, you're like, oh, I want to like learn more about them. Like I can honestly say like I never reached out to like explore any other Ryan Johnson movie like before like The Last Jedi. But like
Mhm.
I go back and like rewatch like the handful of Breaking Bad episodes that he did like more than usual. I feel like we've seen those ones more on our rewatch than when we like rewatch the rest of the show, which is funny because they're some of the best ones and then some of the just like the randomest
The
ones.
most controversial ones, like
yeah,
The Fly, or whatever it's
exactly.
called.
That's a story
Good
for another
stuff.
day.
That is anyway. But yeah, one last thing about Celebration that I wanted to quickly touch upon. One thing that I was super excited to see just from like a community aspect and just like a fan aspect in that general was seeing the actual grouping of all of the prisoners for One Way Out.
Yes.
So that's something listeners of the show know that I have been like elbows deep in since like it dropped. And so I want to give a huge shout out to my friends Marcus and Debs for organizing that entire run and getting the attention of Lucasfilm to allow them to all sit on the stage at the end of the Endor panel and having Tony Gilroy and Diego Luna and like half of like the creative people
Unbelievable.
on that show come out and take a photo with them and talk with them. And it's just like, I'm sitting here watching this and I'm like, God damn it. Like I had such a huge like hand in that. And like, I'm just like watching this and I'm like, I love every single moment of it. And I'm so proud of all of them for getting to have this moment and for having the first run of the prisoners, which somehow we kept under wraps for like almost like half of a year here. A lot of people didn't even know this was a thing that was going to happen, even though I've been thinking about it like every day. So
I didn't really think, I mean, I always thought that would just be a thing anyways. Like I didn't know. I mean, obviously these things get organized, but I was like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, people are going to be in that costume doing
they
that.
don't just like naturally happen. There is like some
Well, I mean,
legwork
I feel like
behind
something
it.
could naturally happen. If you just met everyone in the same costume and were like, hey, you want to do that thing? And then you just do it. Like,
I
even
think
if it's
that
5 people.
it did grow from there, but it was just that was just something super magical that it's one of those things you only see at Star Wars Celebration. I have a feeling you're going to see them at like other conventions in the next like, year or so, but like that is one of those things of seeing it at Star Wars Celebration for the first time. That was just very magical and I loved every moment of it. And I also have to say that during the indoor panel as well, Diego Luna straight up was like, hey, in the wide shots, I was wearing sneakers. So please wear shoes when you're wearing that costume. That's all that I ask. Like,
Smart.
this is a thing that both of you guys are just like, I don't know what you're talking
They
about,
had too much.
No,
just wear your shoes. That's all I'm saying.
yeah,
They had
'cause
too
were
much short
barefoot in the
notice to do.
prisoner.
There's too much short notice to do the falling of the text.
Oh my god.
Oh
Just
no!
moving
Why?
on. Moving on. For new and old listeners, how do the HoloNet Marauders assemble?
Should you tell it, or should I? I mean,
I'll do it, and then you tell it, Matt. I feel like you got it.
Well, I mean, this also kind of goes back to Celebration.
Okay.
This was like a random thing. Celebration 2019 is announced, and our friend Shelby is going with AJ and Jamie, and she's texting me and bugging me about, Matt, you should buy a ticket. You should go. And I'm sitting there going, nah, I don't really think so. And then finally, for some reason that I still cannot fathom to this day, I just like flipped a switch and was like, okay, and just bought a ticket. It was right under the gun too. Like
4 years on our day of recording this right now. 4 years ago today was the day we got there.
Wow.
In Chicago?
Yep.
Wow. Yeah.
Keep
So,
going.
well, I bought the ticket, and we decided to do, because Shelby works at a local television station, and we decided to help her out to create a show. So we were going to do like a little Star Wars chat, and it was going to be kind of like a prelude to Celebration. We were all kind of going to get together, plan, talk, all that jazz. So we drove to where Shelby was. I drove to where Jamie and AJ were, and then the three of us drove down there, and then it kind of just snowballed from there. On the way there, we were talking about Star Wars, and we kind of just realized we clicked. We did a little round table. We had a bunch of helmets sitting on the table. We talked about theories for episode 9, which we didn't have a title for.
I would love to get the
I
footage and the
do.
audio from this.
Same. We have to find
It's
that
probably-
because
It's probably cringeworthy,
the
but
proto Marauders.
yeah.
That's exactly what it was.
Chatting about episode 9.
I mean, like, mind you, AJ, Matt, and I knew each other from college, and so, but we never really talked about like Star Wars at great length, like when we were at school.
Well, it wasn't really back yet. I mean,
No, yeah, it was like the cusp of like coming
Probably
back,
did a
like
little
as
bit.
we were finishing up with school. So
Yeah, because like
yeah,
Jamie was my boss at the radio station.
yes, I was.
And we were both working at the television studio on campus too, and AJ was there as well, just because.
He was just
So we
kinda
did,
there.
and we would film like stupid Star Wars things back in 2015 before The Force Awakens. We filmed like a couple of things, the video of AJ with his Kylo Ren helmet on, not getting the thing in the vending machine, and then getting mad at the vending machine. Classic. A couple of lightsaber duels just in the thing. I mean, that was all just fun. But like, we didn't get serious until we went to Celebration. We had like the friggin' best time ever, and we were like, "Holy shit!"
It changed the game. And then
Let's
it
make a
really did.
podcast.
And we
Fast
realized
forward
we
a
were
few
kinda
months.
compatible with Star Wars, and then
Rise of Skywalker came out.
Yeah.
Fast forward a few months later, COVID started.
Yep.
We were sitting around on our butts and like, you know what? Let's I skipped a part. We started as a blog.
yeah, let's start.
And that was fun for a bit. Matt had like a fake name. You were Clee the Elder.
Clyde the Elder, yeah.
Clyde the
From which-
Elder
from
from the
which
ancient
any-
text.
Yeah, anybody who knows anything about the Sacred Jedi texts, he's one of the authors of the Sacred Jedi texts. That's why I
So-
picked the name.
Maybe he'll be in that movie. No, probably not. So Matt's reaction. He's gonna be the main character. Anywho. We'll talk about that later. So yeah, we were a blog. Didn't last very long. The blog's actually still up, but it's on its way down. We turned into a podcast from there, and it's kind of wild because when we started, I didn't like know how to talk on a podcast. I mean, you guys had your radio experience, and we all have our moments still, but we would have to like pause, refine our train of thought, and like cut that part out that we took out. Like, do you remember those days? Like the first few episodes, we would
a
have
lot
to
of
like,
heavy editing in the first ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and now it's pretty easy. I mean, we've done.
Now we're
101
bebopping and
episodes
scatting
now.
all over the place.
Yeah. I mean, not that we're pros or anything, but like I would say we're seasoned podcasters at this point. at
Sure,
least.
seasoned podcasters.
We've done live panels.
We can talk ourselves out of the box if we need to.
If you
It's
told me
good.
4 years ago that I would have 101 podcast episodes, or that we would have that, and our 4 live streams in front, or live panels in front of people at conventions,
about Star
all of-
Wars.
Yeah.
all of our live streams too. I mean, those are kind of like podcast episodes.
Yeah,
It may be more difficult because they're in front of a live
they're live.
and live studio audience at Nickelodeon now. So yeah, I don't even know how many there are of those now. Like not 100,
lot.
but
So like this is the 101st podcast episode, but we have done more with like the
Yeah.
streams and other
least,
stuff
like,
as well. So like it's roughly 101.
50.
Yeah, I would say we've done at least like 150 of these kind of like talking style things, because like
Yeah.
obviously we've had the panels, live panels, we've had all the lives that weren't translated to podcast form. So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean we've done a lot. But yeah,
A lot of
if you were to
stuff.
tell me 4 years ago, I would have been like, really? And then the other person would have probably been like, yeah, there was a global pandemic. And I'd be like, what?
I don't know what's more unbelievable.
Wait a minute.
But yeah, that's how we got here.
So there
yeah,
you go.
that's that's the story. So, what is your favorite piece of High Republic media?
Whoa.
Ooh, okay. For me, I think that's a pretty easy one. You guys have consumed all the High Republic media, both of you, for the
Most
most
of
part.
there was
Yeah.
books that came
There's
out
a
this week. I'm working through. So
So
Yeah,
yeah, up until that
I'm in the
point.
process of
I mean,
reading
that's yeah.
Cataclysm.
No one's gonna read that book in like 2 days. Although they probably
they probably have.
But anyways, realistically, for me, it's kind of a basic answer, but it's probably Light of the Jedi or Rising Storm. Light of the Jedi by Charles Soule, Rising Storm by Kevin Scott. Like those were the first two. Those were kind of like your A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back
Yeah.
Yeah.
of the High Republic so far, I think. So yeah.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with both of those, but I would also like to tag in. I loved the comic Eye of the Storm, which was the
Ooh,
little bit
yeah.
of prequel about Mark Yonro. Because I love everything about the Evereni, so that's his species. Like I can't like consume enough of it, and I know that moving forward we're getting more content like about them and like their history. So I think that comic is also like pretty overlooked because it's not part of the main run. It's like an offshoot of it. But it's
Also,
definitely worth it.
speaking of comics, Trail of
yes.
Trail of
Shadows.
Shadows. I was
Yeah.
I was
Okay,
gonna
sorry,
say
yeah.
Well, I was gonna say Trail of Shadows is definitely up there for me.
Detective story.
But Light of the Jedi is definitely one of my favorites. But I'm gonna go off the trail here. I'm gonna say Path of Deceit.
Okay.
I
okay.
Oh
loved
yeah.
Path of Deceit. Path of Deceit blew me away. The ending was like whoa, buddy! Like that really that I was driving and I like flew out of the roof when I
remember
pulled
you.
over like, oh my god!
Did you actually?
No, but
Oh, okay. You should have lied and said yeah. But
yes,
I remember you told me that ending. By the way, I know the things that happens because Jamie and Matt tells me. But I remember you told me about that ending, and then I was like, Jamie, was that like a wild ending? You were like, I saw it coming.
I
feel like
saw
that
it
always
coming.
happens.
I
Yeah.
did not at all see that coming.
I loved Path of Deceit as well, but like I remember when we were both like reading it, Matt was like hyping it up like a lot like that, and like so like Matt listens to the audiobooks and it takes him like a little longer, and meanwhile I do like big like sprints of like a third of the book at a time usually. So like I'm just like, oh, I haven't really gotten there yet, and then at this point I'm almost done, and I'm just like, I don't know, it's pretty predictable at what's going to be revealed here, and it was really cool, but I didn't like
I
jump
don't
out of
have
my
a
skin
tiebreaker
like, about
opinion
it.
here.
I think Path of Deceit's ending is awesome. I think it really sealed it. Oh no. Why'd you put my title on? It doesn't even work right now.
I agree. I do love Path of Deceit though.
Path
So
of
like
Deceit, yeah.
yeah. Honorable mentions as well. Like I love the first audio play, Tempest
Ooh.
Runner.
Oh my god, and Battle of Jeddah. Battle of Jeddah
Yes.
blew me away too.
I haven't
Tempest
consumed that
Runner,
one
yeah.
yet.
Ooh,
But
Battle of Jeddah.
That's the one thing, yeah.
that's
Dude,
next on my list.
Jedi and Guardians of the Wills.
It's next on my
Fighting
list. I know. I
side
love
by
the
side in
Guardians.
Jeddah. Oh my god, dude, it's so good. Really, you started
It's because it's an
Cataclysm before?
I haven't started Cataclysm yet,
Okay.
and so like I did like a quick like if you have a book in your hand, you were like, oh, quick like skim through. I saw the word Jeddah like pop out a few times, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I have to listen
Battle of
to
Jeddah is
Battle of
important.
Jeddah first.
You
It's
gotta
too
listen to
bad
that.
that isn't out in like
It is.
physical form, is it?
It
Yeah.
is. They
you
already
should buy
dropped it
that.
in physical form. Yeah, I want to listen to the audio play version though because there's just so much that like goes
production.
into that. And they
Yeah.
actually
Yeah.
have the fully voiced actors or voice actors doing everything.
Voice actors and
the-
sound effects,
Music,
Yeah.
sound effects.
The thing with like me and like any sort of listening through thing is I have to devote full attention to it. I can't like have it on as background noise. If it's like a story, if it's music, I can it's
Well, that's like
background
me.
noise. But if it's a story, that's it.
I'm like
to
Matt, and I prefer the audio books, but I don't drive as much as I used to. Like at my old job, I drove everywhere. I would drove for like 5-6 hours a day sometimes.
yeah.
I don't get to do that anymore, so I don't have as much time to
Yeah, I have about
listen.
an hour of listening a day because I drive half an hour and half an hour back. So
Yeah.
usually I finish the books within like a couple of weeks, and it's
Mhm.
great.
Audiobooks are perfect and it's still the fantastic way to consume them. But yeah, we all love the High Republic here. Non-Star Wars question. Do y'all believe in the supernatural worlds?
Yeah, I wonder who wrote this one.
I don't know, honestly.
I don't remember.
The y'all doesn't give it away.
No.
I feel like a lot of people say y'all.
I guess a lot of people say y'all.
I
Sorry,
say y'all,
Rural
and then
Farm Boy.
I delete it, and then
I don't think it was him who asked that question, actually.
Well, sorry, Rural
Um,
Farm Boy.
So, yes, long story short, yes, I do.
Yeah, I do.
I mean, like, my favorite other franchise is Ghostbusters. I feel like that goes without saying. But that being said, I'm terrified by the prospect of that. But yes, I do believe in the supernatural world.
In some way, shape, or form, yeah.
Yeah.
I
don't
do
know.
not at all believe in
Oh.
anything supernatural.
We have
I
a
want
non-believer.
to. I am a non-believer, 100%. I really want to believe in the supernatural. I am desperate to see a ghost. I want a ghost to
Why don't you
kick me in
believe
the
it?
nuts. What do you mean? I seriously don't think there's anything supernatural out there. I'm serious. I think all of it can pretty much be explained scientifically, except for the UAP phenomenon. That
You don't know what that is.
probably
You know what's
has some
hilarious,
kind
Matt?
of physics answer, but we don't know it yet. What?
You know a lot of information to back up this, and AJ and I are both just like, yeah, okay, yeah, we believe in it, and you're just like, I don't believe in it because of this, this, and this, and this, and this.
Yeah,
and this,
like
and this.
that
You have it
explains you
rapid
perfect.
fire ready
I
to
just
go.
like assumed. I go with my gut. I don't go with like stats and facts.
Look, like I said, I want to believe in ghosts. I really do. Like, I desperately want ghosts to be real, but I don't right now.
I don't really
believe
care
in
one way
ghosts
or another, I guess, but I just do believe in it.
or any supernatural stuff. Do aliens count as supernatural, like UFOs
Yeah.
visiting Earth? I don't think I believe in those either.
Do you believe in
those
the Loch
stories
Ness
interest me.
monster and the theory of Atlantis?
No,
Bigfoot?
sorry, Ray. Sorry, I don't.
No
No,
Bigfoot?
I don't believe in Bigfoot either. I
There's
think by now we would find a body, a carcass somewhere.
Dinosaurs?
see.
Bones, anything. Dinosaurs? Yes, I believe in dinosaurs.
Okay, yes.
I think dinosaurs were real. They are. They were very real. I'm just
all right.
just to point that out.
What is everyone's favorite Star Wars creator? And I think that they
See, I
mean
don't.
like
I
canon
think we could
creator.
answer this multiple ways, like
Okay.
online creator, like us,
Okay.
or actual creator. So I'll give two answers.
Oh yeah, so give it two parts. So your favorite fan creator, and then your favorite actual canon
I'm
creator.
gonna give two for online creator, and one of them doesn't do as much stuff anymore, but I think both of these people combined is a perfect way to kind of describe what we aim to be, maybe, and were motivations for us. So we've had both of them on the show. So one is Michael Rexing Around. The way he did things, and I really hope he gets back into it. Anytime he talks Star Wars, I really enjoy his takes and just his sense of humor. Like, he's so chaotic in a good way. And the amount of times Jamie and I quote like some of his old like video things when he's the First Order officer and stuff like that. And like meeting him in person and now kind of being friends with him that we've met at Celebration and online, like, he's the best. He's so nice, and he's chaotic in a good way in real life too. It's awesome. And the other creators are Alex and Molly, Star Wars Explained.
Star Wars Explained.
Mhm.
Definitely my answer too.
It was
basically the only person I listen to now.
Yeah, like they both break down Star Wars weekly. Like, I mean, I guess we do too, but like they do it so well.
Oh yeah.
They make their Alex makes his videos every week on like his thoughts on the episode, how he breaks something down. He really feels like he like works for Lucasfilm, or they both do, the way they talk about stuff. And they're just so positive. I love their structure. I love their positivity. And they're just like, I don't know, they're just really cool people. So both of those combined is kind of like what we maybe strive to be, I guess. I don't know.
I would agree with that for sure.
Yeah, I agree with both of those as well. Yes, definitely Michael and Greg. So Rex and Around and Go Getter Greg. They both have always been just like huge inspirations for doing this. Like, even like before I started podcasting from a cosplay perspective as well. And meeting them and becoming friends with them has been just like absolutely like mind blowing. And I still don't believe it exists. But I every once in a while I'm just like, oh my god, yeah, hey guys, what's up?
Mm-hmm.
I also additionally want to say another Star Wars creator is Jen Markham. She's another one that I absolutely love Jen, and I've known her for years through doing Rey cosplay stuff, and then she started doing the Trooper Mom videos with Baby Yoda with Grogu. She's just like blown up on TikTok and on social media, and I love seeing her get to experience literally little kids like finding her and being like, I love your videos, like at conventions. Like that's just like so heartwarming to me that like she's like opened that door for younger fans. And Jen is literally the sweetest like human being you'll ever gonna meet. So huge shout out for her. She's one of my other favorite creators out there as well.
Yeah.
Cool.
And like all these people that we're mentioning are just like so positive and nice online and in real life. Like who they are online seems to be like who they are.
Yeah,
They're really genuine people
Yeah.
in real life. So like
absolutely.
it's they're all awesome. But Matt,
Us,
did you
not
have
so much? Not so much. We are not genuine. This is a complete.
Hey, we were
This is a
told
complete farce. Like you don't even know
Speaking
we're
of-
jerks in real
speaking
life.
of no, I hate when Matt talks because people are gonna believe him.
Yeah.
I hate when Matt talks, but I do a podcast with him. One of a funny story with Michael was first time we met him in person was a year ago at Celebration. We met at Downtown Disney at night with
Yeah.
a bunch of other friends as
That
well.
was legendary.
He came out of a restaurant and he was like, "Hey," and then he was
He
explaining
came
to
out
everyone.
of a bowling alley.
Yeah,
Bowling
I
alley
just,
restaurant slash
it's
restaurant.
full.
This is important.
Which I feel like he said he doesn't like bowling once.
This is
or-
why
or
it's
board
important.
games. Anyways, he was explaining to everyone like who we were, why he likes us, and he said like we're humble, down to earth, genuine. And then the first thing I said, I was like, "Do you have our flag?" Because if you followed us at Celebration, other places, I had a HoloNet Marauders flag made up, I think on TeePublic or something. And to make it easier, I just had it shipped to Michael to his house.
Because we
And,
knew we were going to see him because we agreed to do a meetup with him.
Yeah, and it
Yeah.
wasn't going to get to our house in time, I don't think, or something like that. So I wanted to make
Yeah.
sure. Long story short, he didn't have the flag. He gave it to us like the next day or
The next
something.
day.
But that,
Uh,
yeah, that
You
was
guys are so
definitely-
humble. Hey, do you have my flag?
Do you have our big
Do you
flag
have
that we
my
made
flag?
with our big logo plastered right on the front?
Oh my god. But he
Matt,
did.
do you have another person other than Star Wars Explain? I stole yours. I don't
No,
know.
I kind of stopped watching everybody else. Kind of fell off that.
But
Um,
I don't blame you because I don't. Yeah, I mean, I also love I love our friends like
oh well, yeah, of course.
All New
Like the All New
Nerds
Nerds,
and
Age of Grogu,
Age of Grogu, Convor Call, Corey and Aubrey. Love them.
the Lady
obviously.
Warriors.
Love Chad.
Yeah.
Chad.
Chad's been in and out of a couple different pages there. Hannah,
channel
our good friend
Chad.
Hannah.
Yep,
So-
Hannah.
I
Those guys.
could like list off like so many
There's a
friends
million
like, as well.
cosplayers.
Yeah, like so I think that the biggest
Ryan
thing
and
is like
Andy.
when you ask like for a specific favorite creator, it's just like take a peek at our social media of who we interact with because those are our favorite people.
Yeah,
Um,
it's hard to pick just
that's-
one because everybody
Yeah.
is just so like cool. Obviously, yeah, Convor Call, Corey and Aubrey.
Yeah.
Can't leave
course.
them out. I don't
Oh,
know.
I said
why
I
you
mentioned them.
Okay,
I
we
said
did.
them.
Whew.
Of course, I said them.
All right.
We didn't say our
didn't say our
real life creators.
Oh yeah, real
Or
life.
not real life.
Canon
real
creator.
stars.
Quickly.
It's actually that's a harder question. I mean, it's kind of weird. You wouldn't expect this from me, maybe, but I guess I'm gonna say Dave Filoni.
Okay.
That is a
Because,
wild
like,
card for me, but yeah.
It's yeah, and I don't know why it is. Like I love the sequel trilogy, but I'm not really gonna say JJ is my favorite Star Wars creator. Or like I love Ryan Johnson, but he just has the one movie.
Yeah, I would have
Filoni's
said
done
Ryan,
so
but
much.
there are other people who have done more that I think I would.
Like I said
probably pick.
earlier, Rebels is our favorite thing in
Yeah.
Star Wars. Clone Wars is amazing. Jamie loves the clones, so I don't know why I'm speaking for all of us, but like I'm making my case.
I don't know why you need
Filoni's
to
my
make a
favorite.
case. You could just say it.
I can agree with
yeah.
you with Dave Filoni. I might also say this little guy. Not a lot of people know about him, but he's made
he
a
wear
big
flannel?
impact. Yeah, he wears a flannel. He's got a big beard.
I think he had a
little
decent impact.
soft-spoken. Decent impact. His name's George Lucas. I would
think I've
say
heard of him.
he's one of my favorite Star Wars creators, definitely.
Yeah,
But if we're talking strictly canon, it's either Dave Filoni or Charles Soule. Charles Soule.
great pick. Wow.
Oh no, I'm sorry.
Damn, we're
No, it's
stealing
okay.
each
I have a
other's.
second one.
But Charles Soule, I mean, holy crap! Just the stuff he did with Kira still makes my head explode to this day. Like
If
that
you
is
look
such
at
a
all of-
clever idea.
If you look at from when the new canon kind of re-kicked in from 2015 to now, he's written like you name your favorite book or like any like
The
he's
Poe
done it.
Dameron comics, he wrote friggin'
all the Kylo Ren stuff.
all the
Rise
Kylo
of
Ren
Kylo
stuff,
Ren.
Light of the Jedi, and then of course, War of the Bounty Hunters, Crimson Reign, Hidden Empire, and the current run for Star Wars, which has also been incredibly good.
Right,
So,
yeah. Very good.
Claudia Gray, I might say, is up there too because of Bloodline.
Master and Apprentice.
Our boy Landry.
Yes,
You love Landry, yep.
Love Landry. Yeah, and Adam.
I think
Adam.
yes. So,
Mr.
in
Christopher.
addition to Charles Soule and our other two favorite authors, Landry Q. Walker and Adam Christopher, obviously, I also have to add in Doug Chang.
Mm.
Easily
Oh
overlooked.
yeah. Oh,
That's
you
a
kidding?
great
What
answer.
what an answer.
I
That's the
mean,
best answer.
He's the best.
all
And
of
he's
our
been around for
favorite,
like
all of our favorite concepts from
lot of
the
them.
prequel era are pretty much from him. And
Where's my N1?
I love seeing everything that he's accomplished over the years as well, from the prequels to now. Like I love like watching the behind the scenes documentary for the Phantom Menace, and it's so funny to like say this. Like I feel like for us, I love seeing like that documentary because he's so young, and now like it's just like obviously people get older, and then now you see him now, and he's not like an old man, but like yeah, he's not the young guy he was in the Phantom Menace documentary.
Wasn't
But I
young and
love
wide-eyed.
I love how his influence is spread across all of the visual media that we've had
Yeah.
since the Phantom Menace.
And his influence
just perfect.
permeates to this day, for crying
Yeah.
out loud. The Mandalorian, the most popular Star Wars thing right now, flies an N1 starfighter, for crying
Yeah.
out loud. So
Yeah.
it's like, Doug Chang's
So,
the
yeah.
best. You're right.
Had to throw that one in
He
there.
really is.
This is a very good answer. Good answer. I feel like we're on Family Feud. Good answer.
Good answer. Good
Um,
answer.
Who's your favorite Mandalorian director?
Ooh.
Hey.
I'm gonna go
Um,
first so no one steals
Oh
it.
yeah, okay, fair enough.
Rick Famuyiwa. I love
All right.
Rick's
Oh, yeah.
episodes, and I love how Rick has also been given the chance to produce now as well. I feel like he's doing an awesome job, and I love every single one of his episodes.
All right. All right, AJ,
Um,
go ahead and say yours.
Bryce Dallas Howard. I was gonna throw a curveball and say Carl Weathers, but he's only done like 2 episodes. So
But they're really good.
Yeah, they are really good.
First one very good. Second one didn't love the raptor thing, but he did a good job directing it. I just didn't like the story of that episode. And the Order 66 flashback was awesome. But yeah, Bryce Dallas Howard.
It's good.
She's just I mean, all of her episodes she's done, including in Book of Boba Fett, she did not From a Desert Comes a Stranger. That was
No,
Filoni.
that was Dave.
The one prior with just Mando
The
on
Return of
the
Mandalorian.
Halo world, Ring World,
That's what it was
as Matt
called.
wants to call it.
Glavis Ring World, yeah.
And building the N1, like she directed the N1 coming back in there. So like all of them have been bangers, as people like to call them, as I like to call them too. This previous one wasn't as unanimously. I can't.
Oh no.
You've never
ginger ale
struggled with
here.
that one before, but okay.
Hey guys, remember when I couldn't talk on the podcast? But yeah, they've all been really liked. This past one, maybe not so much. I still really enjoyed it.
I
So
loved it. So
yeah,
and
she's
I
the
might be
answer.
inclined to agree with you. Has Dave Filoni directed any episodes this season? Yeah, he directed the last one, didn't
No,
two-
he
two
did.
ones ago?
He
He's
directed the
saving it for
Ahsoka one.
Ahsoka.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm Dave Filoni, the Jedi I love. From the Desert Comes a Stranger, I absolutely love. I definitely think he came into his form more in From a Desert Comes a Stranger. But yeah, I mean, I might pick Dave Filoni or I'm just gonna go super basic, Jon Favreau, because
I know.
he directed The Marshal. So
Marshal,
it's like,
yeah.
oh my god,
I
The
really-
Marshal is my favorite episode of Mando. So it's like,
I'm bummed he wasn't directing an episode this season.
I know.
Because I mean,
He
I guess
always directs one, and it's like
Busy.
so
he's
good.
busy.
He's busy.
Well, like,
He's
you
a
think
busy
he
guy.
writes it, he can just direct an episode too. Like he's there. Might as
Oh.
well.
Who knows? Different interest.
That's a good
this,
answer.
This season. What is your favorite beverage and food at Galaxy's Edge?
I have never eaten at Galaxy's Edge.
Really? That's a crime. You've been
I
3
know.
times.
You've had the milks.
Yeah, well, I'm
Well, there you go.
not eating the milks. I'm
He had
drinking
the bad
the
milk.
Beverage.
That wasn't the right milk, and then he had the slushies.
I
which is
did have
right
the
one.
bad the one that you can get at Oga's Cantina, but the regular slushy blue milk that you can get is really good.
At
But
the
I
milk
actually
stand.
might say the Carbon Freeze, still my favorite Star Wars drink. Get it at Oga's Cantina next time you're in Florida because they don't have it at California.
How
But
have you
next
not
time you're
eaten
in
there?
Florida- I don't know.
You think
Okay.
as
we
big a Star
know-
Wars fan, you want? I gotta eat Star Wars food too.
I'm a
We-
picky eater. I'm a picky eater. It's scary. It's
Just
scary
eat.
trying new
It's
things.
scary.
It's hard. Hey?
Being in a galaxy far, far away is about being adventurous.
That's true.
Next time. You're
Next
going
time.
soon, so
Yeah.
grab something basic.
So yeah, I'd have to agree about the blue milks, but I also appreciate they added the cold brew coffee. It's just a basic cold brew, but the fact that it is called like not the sunrise caf, but it has like the cold foam on top and like the cocoa puffs.
It's the pumpkin spice latte of Batu.
It's good. It's great. I loved it. It was like, $5 at least, but like, yeah.
So
it's
was
good.
regular Starbucks.
Yeah. So it like checked out, right? I enjoyed that. I think that my favorite food was probably what we had for lunch that day, which was like some Impossible meatballs and like a
It was really
veggie,
good.
like
Really
mix
good.
with it.
Although
Really
later
good.
that day I needed Alka Seltzer to
I don't
revive
know if
myself.
that was the food's fault or just anxiety or
Or the
Or both.
ride.
it just a ride or just
Shaking you up.
Disneyland.
The change of
Um,
air in California.
Yeah, it being cold in California in May, that was wild,
Cold and like 50 degrees and misty. Ugh.
Why
Loved
were
it.
we all there when it was that cold? I was so
What do you
surprised.
mean? Why were we all there when we didn't have a choice?
Why was it cold when we were there? That's what I'm
There you
asking.
go.
Sorry.
Because the
Blue
Earth
milk.
had a choice.
Was that your answer?
Yeah.
All
Alright,
right.
Blue milk slushy. I could drink 10 of those in a row.
Editor's note, Matt, don't say a peep about the leaks. I
What's a good
beg
note?
you.
Okay.
So the question is, do you think that the female Sith in Ahsoka is Omega? AJ, you want
No.
to kick us off?
I could give a funny. I don't know why Matt turned his camera off, and I'm not
I
really
don't
sure
either.
why. Maybe he's laughing.
I hope he's laughing.
Hopefully it's a bit.
Is it a bit? Oh, not
It's a bit. Yes.
Did you have a funny
Okay, so-
reaction? So this question came from my friend Jimmy, who I work with, and someone came in recently and was like, "Hey, did you see the Ahsoka trailer? Like, this is great. Do you think Omega's a Sith? Or, do you think the person the girl in the Ahsoka trailer that has the red lightsaber is a Sith? Her name's Shin.
Clearly,
Matt?
she's a Sith.
She's
Shin, as in
Yep.
like your leg.
As in your
Shin.
leg bone, yeah.
You
Okay, cool.
you can say that. All I'm just asking here is
No, I
that
know.
it's a yes or
That
no
wasn't.
answer.
Yeah, I know we can say that. So, anyways,
I'm not answering. I'm not going to
Why'd
answer.
you turn your camera off? You can put your camera back on.
Because it's a bit and it's funny. Okay, I'm back.
for the people listening, it wasn't as much of a bit. But anyways, my friend Jimmy asked this, and someone came into the place and was like, "Hey, do you think that was Omega?" And I was like, "No, I don't know." But anyways, so my answer is no. I don't think. I definitely 110% do not think that's Omega. I don't know why somebody would ask that. I mean, I appreciate speculation, crazy
It's the hair.
speculation, like
It's the
anyone.
hair.
but
It's because she's blonde.
She has like platinum blonde hair. Like
Somebody's
really
not
blonde
brunette
hair.
in Star Wars. Holy crap! It's Omega. It's Avar Chris.
Oh my god.
That's pretty much it.
It's Mon Mothma. Although she's
Mon Mothma's a redhead.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm gonna have to do to squash the Omega's force sensitive theories, but like, come on, just come on.
I don't think she's force sensitive.
No, I agree. I do
also
have
the character's name's Shin. They didn't say
Yeah,
Omega
it's
in
been-
the subtitles.
revealed what her name is.
Yeah.
So.
Oh my god. And both of their names.
Yep, I saw this. The wolf and the moon
wolves
and the
that chase
dance with the devil in the pale moonlight.
Yes, that they're both the Joker.
You want to get nuts?
Start over. Wait, what?
So Balin, the guy, his name's Balin Skull.
Ray Stevenson.
Yeah.
Yes.
The bad guy with the orange lightsaber. And he's with Shin. Oh, what's her name? I can't find Shin Hati.
There you go.
Skull and Hati are the wolves that chase the sun and the moon in Norse mythology.
Oh.
So his
That's pretty
name's
cool.
Skull, her name's Hati, and they are the ones that chase the moon and the sun. So
Interesting.
that should probably
Yeah.
tell you that they're not Omega, that she's not Omega. But
there you go.
Interesting. I will say, really hot take. I can't post photos of it yet because I saw the leaked Ahsoka trailer right from the panel. There's one shot though, and I'm convinced it's the Marauder.
I saw that
What?
too.
I'm convinced.
no.
you're talking
It's
about
just
the people who are talking about it's the E-wing, I think.
No,
there's
a
another
different
shot.
shot. There's
Another
another
shot.
shot of like Ahsoka running, and there's a ship coming in. It looks at first glance like a regular Imperial shuttle, but that thing is too pointy. It looks like an Omicron attack shuttle. And if it's the Marauder, even
I
if
feel
it's just
like
like an Omicron shuttle, I'll be like,
I feel like there's
but
other
still.
ships in Star Wars that look like that though.
Oh my god. Anyway, when I see photos, I'll but my thought has been cast out there. I just wanted to say that.
And Omega's team was in Book of Boba Fett.
You could say
Hey.
Krennic's shuttle looks like
I'm just kidding.
It was
Havoc
pointier
Marauder.
than that. Okay, anyway. Next question. I'd love to hear your thoughts about the announced Rey trilogy and any thoughts that about who the antagonist of Ahsoka might be. So again, editor's note, don't talk your leaks.
I'm trying, okay? I'm
Wait.
trying really hard.
Wait, pull that one up again.
They wrote Rey trilogy, and that's the first I've heard
It's
of
not a Rey
that.
trilogy, and it
it's
hasn't
not
been
a
announced
trilogy.
Okay.
as a Rey trilogy. It's just a movie right now.
So first thought, it's not a trilogy. It's just
Not a
one
trilogy,
movie.
It's just one movie.
Extremely excited, as you could tell.
Yeah.
We all kind of
Yeah.
said that the Rey movie is our most anticipated thing announced at Celebration. So
Yeah, I think that what I'm most excited about, aside from Daisy coming back, is just the prospect of the rest of the cast also coming back. So getting John Boyega and Oscar Isaac to come back as well. I can't wait for that. But on top of that, I think that one thing that is just really special to me is when The Force Awakens came out, Rey's character is supposed to be about 19. And so when The Force Awakens came out, I was also like about that age. And so when this movie comes out, this new one, it's supposed to be set 15 years after The Rise of Skywalker. So Rey is supposed to be about 35. And so by the time this movie comes out, I'm going to be like right under that age again. But like the thing stands. I cannot wait to have a character that has literally like grown up like with me through adulthood. Not like, oh, I was a kid and then I became an adult. It's just like, no, I was a younger adult and now I'm going to be a slightly older younger adult, and I can't wait to like have that experience of like this is a character that has like grown with me through like not just formative years, but like yeah, my formative adult years, and like I'm really excited for that.
that's a pretty cool take. I didn't even think of that.
Yeah,
And
that's
since
pretty
we're
good.
almost the same age, I guess ditto for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I'm most excited about the prospect of getting more Jedi. I like Jedi. I really like Jedi. So the
Really?
fact that she's going to have a temple, she's going to have Jedi, that's just really freaking exciting for me. Like, I just can't wait to get more Jedi heroes. And please, for the love of God, make Finn a Jedi. Anyway,
I know. Seriously.
They
I
will.
really, Kathleen Kennedy said, somebody, I mean, she's not going to answer anything, but someone was like, hey, are we going to see the other characters from the, the sequel trilogy in these movies? And she was like, oh, yeah, you might see someone. I don't know. But that's just obviously a vague answer, but for some reason it gives me hope.
You know who we're gonna
Like,
see? Sinai Thana.
oh yeah,
I don't really know how you could,
he's a Jedi.
I don't really know how you could resume Rey's story and not have some of those characters, especially
Yeah.
Finn.
Yeah.
And where, for people that haven't watched the Lego specials that they've done over the last couple of years, they're really fun. They're really good. Even for adults, they're really fun to watch. And it follows Rey and Finn and Poe after Rise of Skywalker. It's a non-canon thing. But maybe you could imagine, since we're not getting stories in that time, maybe you could pretend like some of them are somewhat canon.
Yeah, like
but
the details.
Yeah. I don't know. Not because they're very humorous and funny stuff happens.
Yeah.
But
The biggest thing though is they've always
Finn-
alluded that
and they don't even allude to it. It's in that Finn is literally becoming a Jedi with Rey, like under Rey, sort
exactly.
of. So that detail's there, and Lucasfilm released those things, so someone over there acknowledges it.
Mhm.
And this is
I mean, it's-
15 years later.
yeah.
They have to mention Finn somehow, I hope.
They have to, and I'm also looking forward to seeing what the political climate of the friggin' galaxy is. That's like
That'll be really cool.
on
They mentioned that
any
too, so.
discussion board online. One of the biggest questions is always, what's the politics after episode 9? What's the galaxy like after episode 9? What's episode 9? It's like,
Please
okay,
don't do another
guys.
Republic. They don't work. The new Republic.
I don't know. I honestly think they're gonna like have the New Republic just still be there. The Resistance was the New Republic basically, so just keep it there. I don't know. We'll see.
Well, what happens.
And what we didn't the bad
What was the
people in
other thing?
Ahsoka.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
what do we think's gonna happen?
I think the two wolves. They're gonna chase the sun and the moon.
I mean, I think I've always kind of said, the trailer's been out like 2 days. I've always said the Ray Stevenson character kind of reminds me of I always forget his name, but the bad
Santa Claus.
guy, the
In
bad
Fallen Order?
the bad guy in Fallen Order on
Aaron
Dathomir.
Malikos.
Aaron Malikos.
Taron Malikos. I don't know why you always laugh at that, Matt.
Because I didn't remember his name, and then I like made it a point to like remember his name. So
See,
now everybody else forgets it, and I'm like, oh, it's Taron Malikos.
I'm glad you remembered.
I mean, I guess like in theory he kind of looks like him.
He does.
Well, he was a fallen Jedi,
Yeah.
and I don't know. I think obviously there's a lot of those kind of people out there.
A
And I
dark
think
Jedi,
just like
if you will, right, AJ?
Mm.
See, okay, yeah. I don't like the term Dark Jedi. I don't hate it. I definitely don't hate it. It doesn't sound right because if you're evil,
You're not a Jedi.
you shouldn't be called something with the word Jedi in it.
Yeah.
It's like saying bad Jedi. Like that doesn't make sense.
It's a carryover from the 90s when Force users were just Jedi. And I mean,
Don't you
even
think
George
we should
Lucas,
update that system. I mean,
but
if
even George Lucas is
Well,
guilty
hey.
of that because, like, look at what Grievous says in Episode 3. You fool! I've been
Yeah.
trained in your Jedi arts by Count Dooku.
That's because at the time there's no Sith. So, well.
There were Sith in Episode 3 when Grievous was like, "Oh, I've been trained in your Jedi."
At that point, yeah, but like it wasn't like publicized. I like the concept if obviously like Ahsoka's entire bit is she's not a Jedi anymore. So like I obviously
So
like
they're,
other
like,
Order
not
66.
Dark Jedi.
Yeah, no. So like, but I would assume they're not Jedi, but they're also not going around calling themselves Dark Jedi. They're just people with lightsabers who can
They're
use
just-
the
They're just-
Force.
people.
It's just
there.
people.
No, but
Sir.
I would love a concept of an Order 66 survivor who falls to the dark side instead. Like
And it makes sense. I mean,
Yeah,
it makes
Taron
sense
Malikos.
because
he's
this is kind
older.
of. I had
so-
this thought. Speaking of Fallen Order and Jedi Survivor, that the Jedi series with Cal, like the most recent trailer, Cal's throwing stormtroopers into TIE Fighter, which was awesome. But like,
Yeah.
that's not a very Jedi. You go back to Yoda saying, "Oh, we don't use the Force to attack."
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, what the hell is this?
Never.
But you have to remember in this time period Cal is in, and it's similar to
Difficult
Kanan.
times.
Kanan is
Kanan?
another example. Like they're
He's drunk.
surviving. They're surviving, and like they're not like these peak Jedi anymore in terms of not like power. I mean, but like
Yeah,
I
well,
mean,
the power balance has shifted.
their ideals.
Now they're fighting for their lives. Before, when you called in Jedi to a situation, there's usually more than one, and they usually have the upper hand in a situation, so they can use different tactics to try to de-escalate things.
So it'd be what I'm trying to say is these Order 66 Jedi survivors who don't have other Jedi around them. They don't have their Jedi masters or Padawan, friends around.
Yeah.
They're gonna do things, and it might lead them down a dark path if they're just trying to survive. Like that's kind of how the Force has worked. If you do
Yeah.
something
Yeah.
bad, might lead to doing another something bad, and you feed into your emotions. So it
Whoops,
makes
that
sense
was
to
Sith
see.
Lord.
It makes sense to see all these evil dark Jedi, as we're gonna call them. But like, I don't know. Long story short, I think that's who these characters probably are. In some
Ditto.
way, shape, or form. They're not
Yeah.
Sith. I don't think they're Sith. so.
Nah. Yeah, I don't think the Sith would let that fly at that point in time. What's your favorite low-key in-person celebration moment?
Okay,
I have
mine.
one. Okay, you go.
Okay, mine was Celebration 2019. It's gonna be low key because I mean some of my favorite moments were like the meetup at downtown Disney that we already talked about.
Low-key. Low-key.
Or, like, yeah. So the lowest key I could possibly think of is when we were at Celebration 2019. We watched The Phantom Menace on day one. We had a friggin' blast, and there was this one scene.
This is back at the hotel.
Or back at the Airbnb we were staying at. We watched episode 1. There was one scene where our good old friend Captain Panaka, I'll recreate the scene. He turns to the camera and he goes, "The Hutts are gangsters," and I'll never forget that because we found like a rap online and we just loved like that line and we
It
were
became a
quoting it
thing.
and it became like a huge thing for us. And Panaka became like one of our favorite characters. And we're sitting there eating lunch the next day after all day of like quoting Captain Panaka, and we're trying to find people to take pictures with, and all of a sudden, like Hugh Corshey's name comes up, and we all kind of just look at each other like, "Wait a minute,
In like
Why
the
don't we take
professional
a picture
photo
with
ops list.
why don't we take a picture with Captain Panaka? And so we did, and it was just like one of those like things. It was like, oh my god, like that's so funny, and
That is a good one.
that's like the magic of Celebration. Like all these people are here, all your favorites, and they could be like the smallest, like this could be like the smallest little thing, like a quote that just sets you off, and you're like, I gotta meet this guy now. So it was just a blast, and I brought this figure in the package to him with my Jar
that's
Jar
the
mask.
same one.
Yeah, and he goes, "Oh, the unlucky duo."
The unlucky duo.
It was the Jar Jar mask and Panaka.
In Panaka,
my God.
the unlucky duo.
And then, like, as we were like walking away, he was just like, "Oh, he," as in like Ahmed Best. He's like, "Oh, he's like 2 doors down, right?" And we're all like, "Oh, we wanted to see you."
We wanted
and
to
he's
see
like,
you. And he was like,
"Okay."
And now we're like, we want to see Ahmed
We wanted to
Best.
see Ahmed
I know
Best.
now, but
After all
now
this
and now
stuff.
his like. I mean, he was big in 2019. He was
Yeah.
expensive.
I think that was
but I
one of
can't
his first
imagine.
times like back at a convention, possibly ever, was
Yeah.
2019.
It
I
was.
think it was
yeah.
also like Hayden as well. He was at 2019. He only did photo ops though. I don't think he did anything else. Maybe. Anyway, AJ, you go.
So mine is probably also at 2019. And I don't know why this pops in my head, but after the Rise of Skywalker panel, so that was on Friday?
Yes,
And it
Friday
was
morning right away.
That was the first day of Celebration?
It was the second day because it was Friday morning, very early.
It was Thursday to Monday. It was a
Yeah.
5-day
It was a
convention.
5-day
Yeah.
convention.
Crazy.
They haven't
So-
nailed the schedule like consistently since
Wild. Yeah, true. So Rise of Skywalker panel happened. And then after that, like there was Palpatine's return at the end. He laughed. So we knew he was probably going to be in the movie some way. And every Palpatine cosplayer across the whole convention was just like, you had to like take a picture with him or have him laugh or something. Like, it became like the theme of the weekend, just Palpatine.
then.
I
That was
love
good.
that. I remember I took a selfie with one and he like threw up the deuces or something. Oh man, that was fun.
Yeah. Oh my! This
Oh,
isn't. Go ahead.
Offshoot of that, I as I'm remembering, you took a picture with the Kylo. I forget the
I was just gonna
cosplayer's
say
name.
that. Yeah.
And I was taking the picture, and all of us, it wasn't even supposed to happen, but a Palpatine walked into the middle of the picture and just started like cackling.
Yeah.
And it was like, what is going on?
Because I was in so it was 2019, right? So I was in at the time my only Rey outfit, or my one of my only Rey outfits, which was the throne room one in The Last Jedi. And so the Kylo that was like walking by was in like the Last Jedi version as well. And like I thought it was the coolest idea to bring a lightsaber sawed in half. So every Kylo Ren I ran into, I was like, "Oh, can you hold the other half of the lightsaber because it explodes in The Last Jedi?" I thought it was really cool. I might do that again. So we're literally both holding half of the lightsaber, doing like the force like pull from each other, and the Palpatine just like walks in between us and starts like. Palpatine cosplayers are like next level. They'll do the voice and everything and like freak you out. And we're both
they're
me and this Kylo are
dedicated.
both like laughing, like what is happening? But it was good. So for me, a low key moment from Celebration. I'm also gonna pick 2019. I'm sorry. I'm also gonna pick in the Rise of Skywalker panel. So this was Friday morning of Star Wars Celebration, and we're waiting in the panel. That nothing has happened yet. We were in an overflow room. We were in like the middle aisle. I noticed in the left-hand aisle someone holding a stuffed animal that was a porg, and I recognized the porg, and it was Pesto Porg. And I'm like, AJ, that's Pesto Porg over there. And he's like, who's Pesto Porg? He had no idea what I was talking about.
No.
Pesto, we all know Pesto now, is the roommate of our friends Ryan and Becca. And I followed the Porg on Instagram sometime before that because I had all the other stuff. And I saw them from a distance. And I wanted to grab a picture with them after the panel, but at post-panel, you can't find anybody. So they were gone. Didn't see them again. A year down the road, we ended up striking up conversation actually more so with Ren and Becca, and we became friends with them, really close friends with them. But it was all because I saw their silly stuffed animal an aisle away.
That is, again, the magic of Celebration.
Low key,
Who knows
my
how-
favorite moment. It's so
Yeah.
silly, but it's perfect. So
Who knows how history would have changed if we did meet them and bump into them? It's kind of weird.
I
right?
don't know. Nobody knows.
And I
Nobody
just
will
want to point out that Ryan created a little short that's on our YouTube channel called Power Trip, and it's really friggin' good. And I want you
good.
all to watch it because it's like
Every
one of
May
my
4th, I
favorite-
reshare it.
I should have said that Ryan is my favorite Star Wars creator because he created Power Trip, and Power Trip is one of my favorite Star Wars things.
I think I mentioned Ryan and Andy, so that counts.
Yes, another favorite podcast, Force Friends rewatch. We had a little Gonk Droid story there. Is what Power Trip is. Okay, what is your favorite interview that you've done for HoloNet Marauders?
This is I don't. Has it just been Matt and I that have done the interviews? Oh no,
I've done
I'm
a
trying-
couple. You guys
I'm
have
trying to
mainly
think
just
of
done the
all of
game
them.
ones.
We've done. Oh, we did
I'll go
Landry, and
I
we
was
We
gonna
did
say-
Landry, and
we did Adam Christopher.
that was great. Both of those were awesome.
I don't want to forget any. And then, but
We
okay, I'm gonna say
did-
my favorite.
Okay,
Matt, you go first. Actually, I'll pick the one you don't pick because
okay.
Do you want me to go
I'll-
first
Yes,
before?
you
Okay.
go first. You go first.
So my favorite is I don't know which one you guys are gonna pick, but my favorite was Adam Christopher last year, who was the author of Shadow of the Sith. I think that's one of the biggest reasons why I was when that book was announced, knowing that it was going to be Rey's story and this post Return of the Jedi like time period, but it was going to focus on Rey's family and what was going on like with like Luke and everything. I was all in immediately. I was yelling about it on social media like immediately, and Adam found my tweets like immediately because I was so excited, and so like he was aware of like HoloNet from the get go, and so yeah, and we literally just struck up a conversation with him, and we got the book early, and we love to talk to him still. And anytime Bad Batch stuff comes up, he like always like sends it to me. And so I was just so excited to do that interview and actually talk to him about that book, and it was one of my favorite books from last year as well. So I loved that interview.
Yeah, it was great getting to ask questions, and it's the only book in recent memory that I've actually read. Like physically, actually
Physically.
read. Like I read the whole
With your
freaking
eyes.
thing in like a week, and I was like, I didn't know I could do that.
Because Matt's an audiobook person.
Because I'm an audiobook guy and my eyes don't work. So I was like, wow. Jeez. I want to say Landry, specifically the interview we did the day his comic came out. This one.
Oh
Ah,
yeah.
We did it
yes,
the
I
day
forgot
it was released.
We
And
did
I was
two
Yes.
interviews with them. Yeah.
holy shit, like this was awesome. Like to get
Yeah.
to talk to him about this comic the day it came out, that he came on our show to talk about it, was just like incredible.
That's a good pick.
So I'm gonna pick that, but I'll let AJ say his, and then I will add an honorable mention in there because
So
one he did pick.
yeah, I mean, there's two very special ones we did for video games,
Mhm.
but I have to pick the one we did recently with the Phantom Menace guys.
Oh, they
like-
were awesome.
Having the guys on from Big Ape Games
Ape.
Productions was just so good. We had them on Super Bowl Sunday. I don't know when we released it, but we recorded it on Super Bowl Sunday. And the funniest part was they talked to us about Phantom Menace game, and in mid-interview they're saying like, "Oh yeah, this guy did that part in the game that you probably hate, and we're going to the Super Bowl party, and the rest of the developers are going to be there."
And that was just like the
They were
coolest
just going-
thing, right?
They were going to a nerd video game developer Super Bowl party.
I would, dude.
talk
I
about
was
Phantom
in
Menace
love
game.
with that. I thought that was so funny, and I can't like imagine they didn't like talk about the interview they just did. So I bet like
Oh, they
all the
definitely did.
developers were talking about the Phantom Menace game at the party. So
Yeah, so that was Michael and Ray from
Yeah.
from Big Ape Games, and they were just like they were so fun to talk to, and obviously all these interviews were great, and we learned stuff from all of them. But learning about video games is like pretty out of my realm of knowledge. So like they were showing us like code stuff, not like code, not stuff that was.
They're just showing you the back end of the.
They were showing
the
us
game.
like, yeah, I think it was Ray was
Yeah, like the
showing us
toolkit, the developer's toolkit, and the engine, and
what the
all
stuff
that.
looked like before it was rendered and stuff.
Yeah.
Like it
Oh my
looked
God.
to get a look into the game like that. And we love Phantom Menace game. That's a staple memory.
That's a core memory of the. HoloNet
It's funny,
Marauders.
like it's a memory of us playing it when we were kids. No, it's a memory of us playing it like
Like
6
3
years ago. We got really into it, and we were like, we have to beat this game
6
without
years
cheats.
ago.
Oh,
Not
last time
even.
Matt came over, I'm pretty sure you guys played it.
Yeah, right.
Whatever it was. But like whenever like that epic run of us starting to replay it again as adults, the Mos Espa level blew us away and everything. So like to talk to those guys about it was just really good. And then finding out that Michael hadn't even seen the movie.
still hasn't seen the
He
movie.
hasn't seen the
He
Phantom
hadn't
Menace.
seen the movie. He still hasn't seen the movie. Blows my mind. That is
So
such
that
a
was
funny detail.
a great interview. And then Matt, if you want to mention the
I will mention
honorable mention.
our awesome interview with Jameson Jones that just kind of, oh my God, just sprung out of the ether. We went to a video game store. We saw Hidden Empire, right? Rebel Assault 2 Hidden Empire
Yeah.
on the shelf. And I'm like, I've never heard of this game. I've never seen this game. It's for PlayStation. We got to get it. So we bought it on a whim, went home, played
It's very
it.
good, actually. It's very fun.
Awesome. And it's filled with these rendered full motion video cutscenes, FMV cutscenes of actors. And the number one, guy who plays Rookie One, the main character of Rebel Assault 2, was Jameson Jones. And on a whim, we're literally watching the credits of the game. We're like, hey, we should get Jameson Jones on the show to talk about Rebel Assault 2. And AJ goes, okay. And he messages him and he responds.
He responded like 10 minutes later.
10 minutes later, he was like, yeah, sure, I'd love to. And we're like, what? Holy shit. So that was pretty exciting. That was, and then again, that was just like one of those like random memories. It's like, oh my God.
That was great.
Just a funny moment.
So I think moving ahead though for like upcoming interviews, we have a lot of cool stuff in the pipeline. And I think that biggest advice I guess out there is keep reaching out because there's a lot of stuff going on and we're very excited for what we have in the future.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, definitely.
A lot of cool stuff. So this is my last question. What Star Wars project are you looking forward to the most?
So that kind of goes like with what we're most excited for. Maybe it could be a different thing.
Okay.
Someone else.
A challenge. Pick something different than what we've already talked about. So we can't talk about the movies or anything else, I guess. I'm most excited for the next wave of the High Republic, actually.
Me
because
too.
like there's been like a lot of reveals coming out about it, and it's just gonna get like darker from here on out. I love all like the information that we're getting from the authors. I love how there was like in like the panels that happened over the weekend. Christina Ariel asks the panel of judges. She asked one of them, not judges. She asked the panel of authors, and I believe she asked George Mann. She's like, "Oh, how do you feel about like killing off your characters? Is that like an okay thing to do?" Kevin Scott just like jumps in, and he's just like, "Yeah, it's totally fine." Because like I love how he's always just running with it. Yeah, you can kill off the characters. It's okay. Cause the trauma. It's fine.
Hey, I think Claudia killed off.
Claudia did a bloodbath. When we had Star Wars Explained on, I was specifically like, spoiler alert for anybody who hasn't read Fallen Star, but they were like, change one thing in canon, and I was like, bring Orla Jareni back. Like that was like my number. I was like, oh my God.
She died 5 steps in.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can't wait for the next wave of High Republic stuff, and it's making its jump to visual media as well.
Well,
with the Acolyte.
That's what I was going to say. I'm going to say the Acolyte specifically. And I know this is like weird to say, but I got super hyped for the Acolyte based on the announcement yesterday that Vernestra Rowe is going to be in the Acolyte.
Yeah,
which is just such again, Vernestra Rowe will be one of only a handful, maybe like 4 or 5 characters that have made the transition from book to screen. And I think that's just like the coolest friggin' thing. I love that kind of stuff. I love when they do that. And I love that the Acolyte is doing that. I would have expected Bariaga or like a Wookiee Jedi, Arkoff. But no, it's Vernestra Rowe. Didn't know Mary Allens could live that long. Because this is 100 years after the books. So she's old.
I mean, she's only like 15 in Light of the Jedi.
So now she's 115.
Yeah.
But no, I am super looking forward to the Acolyte. Because it's going to be a great introduction to the High Republic for a lot of people who haven't read any of the books, including like my friend Zach, who I keep bugging, read the books because they're great. And he's like, no, I don't read the books. So I'm like, and he's asking me all these questions about the High Republic. And I'm like, buddy, read the books. Like, don't.
Or at least just like Spark Note it. Like go to Wikipedia. I mean, you can.
Yeah.
That's right. A lot. Those are long articles.
Yeah. They're shorter than the book still. I guess. But yeah, I'm excited to go off your thing, Jamie. I'm excited for phase 3 because for some reason when it set back for phase 2 to go back in time, I'll go back and consume that media, but I'm really still stuck where Fallen Star ended. like I want to pick up right there, and phase 3 will bring us back to that. So like, I'll be excited when that comes out. But
A year after the books.
can you pull up the question again? I'm gonna make sure. Okay, so it's what Star Wars project are we looking forward to the most? And this is actually the truth. Jedi Survivor.
Yes.
It comes out
honestly,
in like
it comes out in
from-
less than a week or less than a month.
So someone might be listening to this a month from now and be like, "Oh yeah, that's already out," compared to the things you guys picked. But that
That's a
has
good
been
choice.
for years now. That's been the number one thing I've been looking forward to. And the Rey movie is kind of like a wish granted that I really
it's down the
wanted.
road.
But like, I got to stick with what I've been obsessing over, and
No,
that's Cal Kestis and the Jedi series. So I'm really
disappointed in myself for not picking that, because Battle Scars was on like the top of my list for how much I was looking forward to that book.
Yeah.
Survivor is like top notch because Cal Kestis is one of my favorite Jedi. The game was announced last year at Celebration. We're sitting on our bed eating Cheerios, watching the reveal trailer. Great memories. Again,
sitting
great memories.
Sitting on our bed at Celebration.
At Celebration.
The way you say that is like we were at home. No, we were
at Celebration, sitting in our hotel room on our bed eating Cheerios.
Dry Cheerios.
When AJ's like, Fallen Order 2 just got announced. The trailer just came out. So we're like, oh, put it on the screen. So yeah, Jedi Survivor definitely at the top of my list as well in terms of anticipated projects. It's gonna be great.
I feel like that's gonna be a game that I finish. I know you take forever to play games, Matt, but I'm gonna finish it, and I feel like I'm gonna start it right back and play it again. I've been looking forward to it that long, so
You'll probably beat it twice before I beat it once, because friggin' Tears of the Kingdom comes out like a few weeks later. I'm screwed. I'm surprised you didn't pick Andor season 2.
Yeah,
I can throw that in there. Andor season 2.
Everybody,
I think
Andor season 2.
For me, I gotta. As with Andor season 1, the hype level I gotta keep it low, so that way I'm totally blown away. Although,
we'll be blown away.
I gotta remember that I was totally blown away by season 1, so I gotta be like here, so I could be blown away.
Good.
Just like Nemec will be blown away.
No.
Hey.
I guess he wasn't really blown away. He was
squashed away.
Yeah. Crushed.
Who was blown away?
Like my soul.
I don't remember who was blown away.
Ham? No, Ham survived.
Ham.
He was one of the guys on Narkina 5.
Oh yeah.
I remember Ham? Okay.
Anyway, so this has been another Q&A episode with the HoloNet Marauders. Thank you so much for watching this. If you've been listening to us, you can catch this in the video version. There's one comedic moment that Matt put in himself, in which he just drops off the camera and then comes back in. It's great.
It's really funny, worth the watch, guys.
If you've been doing this video version, you can take us to go on your favorite audio listening platform. You can find us everywhere on social media at HoloNet Marauders. On Twitter, it is just at HoloNet Marauder. If you guys like what we do have a Patreon. It is linked down below. There's a few little behind the scenes content stuff, early teases at upcoming projects that we're working on.
New bonus episode coming.
Some bonus episodes
tonight.
as well.
Yeah.
So take a peek if you are interested in that. And we'll be back with more Mandalorian coverage coming up soon. And yeah, we'll be continuing to talk Star Wars. And here's to 101 official episodes, guys. See you next time on the HoloNet Marauders podcast.
Hux was blown away.